Hey kids, what do you write when you're tasked to cut a long story short? You write? That's right, a summary. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together a summary in 5 easy steps, and soon you'll be writing summaries like a pro. Hi, I'm Manoj. Before I show you a sample exercise, here are 5 steps to tackle summaries. Step 1. Do a quick read of the passage. Take note of the story content as you do this. Understand what the story is about. Step 2. Read the passage again, highlighting only the main points in each paragraph and the main characters. Minor details and explanations should be left out of summary writing. It might be a good idea to highlight the main characters in a different color from the main points of the passage. Less confusing. Step 3. Take note of the when, where, who, and what of the passage. Step 4. Write out your summary based on these notes. Step 5. Check your summary. Make changes as needed, and if there is a word count, check you are within the word limit. If there is a word count, then you must not go over that at all. It's best if the word count for the summary is as close as possible to the maximum number of words given. This will mean your summary content is accurate. For example, if the word count is 120 words, your summary should not exceed this or fall way short. So the best is to have a summary of around 115 to 118 words. Let's now do a summary exercise based on an extract from The Witches by Roald Dahl. This is about a rat spotted in a hotel room which set off an argument between the hotel manager and a hotel guest. Step 1. Read the story. On the first morning after our arrival, the chambermaid was making my bed in my hotel room when one of my mice poked out its head from under the sheets. The chambermaid let out a shriek, loud and frightening enough that it brought a dozen people running to see who was being murdered. I was reported to the manager. We made our way to the manager's office. There followed an unpleasant scene in the manager's office with the manager, Mr. Stringer, Grandma, and me. The manager, whose name was Mr. Stringer, was a bristly man in a black-tail coat. "I cannot permit mice in my hotel, madam," he said to my grandmother. "How dare you say that when your rotten hotel is full of rats anyway?" my grandmother rebutted. Mr. Stringer continued arguing. "Rats!" shouted Mr. Stringer, going mauve in the face. "There are no rats in my hotel." "I just saw one this very morning," replied Grandma. Step 2. Read the story again and highlight the main points. Let's first highlight the characters in the story, which I will do in green. The chambermaid, Mr. Stringer the manager, Grandma, and me. Let's also highlight the main points in the story, which I will do in yellow. On the first morning after our arrival, in my hotel, one of my mice poked out its head from under the sheets. The chambermaid who was attending let out a shriek. I was then reported to the manager. There followed an unpleasant scene in the manager's office with the manager, Mr. Stringer, Grandma, and me. The manager complained to my grandmother, "I cannot permit mice in my hotel." To which my grandmother rebutted, "The hotel is full of rats." Mr. Stringer became angry, saying, "There are no rats in my hotel." My grandmother replied, "I just saw one this very morning." Step 3. Note the main points of the story: when, where, who, and what. Let's now work out our summary plan made up of when, where, who, and what. Let's start with when. When did the scene take place? On the first morning after the author's arrival at the hotel. Where did this take place? At the hotel. Who were the characters? The author, Grandma, the chambermaid, and Mr. Stringer, the manager. What happens in the story? Let's break this up into the beginning, middle, and end. Beginning. On the first day, the chambermaid saw one of my mice in my hotel room and shrieked loudly. Middle. I was reported to Mr. Stringer, the hotel manager. There was an unpleasant scene between Mr. Stringer, Grandma, and me. End. Mr. Stringer would not allow mice in the hotel. Grandma said the hotel was full of rats. Mr. Stringer said there were no rats in the hotel, but Grandma said she saw one that morning. This is the summary plan, which we will use to write out the summary. Step 4. Write the summary. Okay, we're ready to write out the summary. On the first day, the chambermaid saw one of my mice in my hotel room and shrieked loudly. I was reported to Mr. Stringer, the hotel manager. There was an unpleasant scene with Mr. Stringer, Grandma, and me. Mr. Stringer would not allow mice in the hotel. Grandma said that the hotel was full of rats anyway. Mr. Stringer said that there were no rats in the hotel, but Grandma said that she saw one that morning. Step 5. Check the summary and word count. Keep practicing the 5 steps. Over time, you'll be like a magnet, quickly picking out the main points to slot into your summaries. I hope you found this video useful and would love to hear from you. Please drop me a comment or question below. Share this video with your schoolmates and click the like button. Do subscribe to my channel for more tips to help with your English. See you next time. Bye.